Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 5 of the Chicago Cubs franchise here on MLB The Show 22. Now it's been a while since we've been with the Cubs, but we are back here with some baseball as the Cubs travel to PNC Park for a 2-game road stand against the Pittsburgh Pirates, where Zach Thompson will take them out in Game 1. If you're excited for this episode, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise and Cubs content. He'll start off his day against Nick Madrigal, who steps up to the plate for Chicago, and Game 1 is underway with a grounder to short where Madrigal gets retired. And we'll take a look at this Cubs lineup today. Now, the Cubs haven't had a good start to the season. We'll see Madrigal followed by Nico Hoerner at short, Frank Schwindel, the first baseman, Patrick Wisdom at the other corner, Seiya Suzuki in right, Ian Happ, the switch hitters in the left, Rafael Ortega in center, Wilson Contreras behind the plate, and the DH is Jonathan VR. Here is Nico Hoerner, who looks at strike 3. The cutter hits down and in for the second out of the inning. And then Frank Schwindel up next chases a high cutter above the zone, and he'll fly out for 3 outs in the first. On the mound for the Cubs will be Alec Mills, who had a very good first start. Only went 4 1/3, but only gave up 1 run. Had a .92 whip. Looking for a solid encore here today. Star for the Pirates will be Ke'Bryan Hayes, the star young third baseman who's off to a 308 start to the season. Full count pitch to Hayes, gets jammed inside. He'll just pop it up to Schwindel at first for the out of the inning. And we'll take a look at this Pittsburgh Pirates lineup. Now, the Pirates not very favored to do very good in the Central, but here's a look at their lineup. We'll see Ben Gamble up next, followed by Brian Reynolds, Daniel Vogelbach, Anthony Alford, O'Neill Cruz, the DH, followed by Michael Chavez at second, Kevin Newman, and Roberto Perez. A lot of struggling hitters in this lineup. Here is Ben Gamble up next, 2-2 count, hits the change right back to the pitcher Mills, who puts him away for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Brian Reynolds, who gets an 0-2 fastball. He flies out to left, and both teams go down 1-2-3 to begin their days. We'll stay with the Pirates here at bottom of the third, where Kevin Newman, hitting .091 on the season, will step into the batter's box. He gets the first pitch he likes, though, and drills it to deep center. This one's going to get up against the wall. Newman with a nice double to begin the bottom of the third. Doesn't get much hits so far this season, but that's a big one. Next up, Roberto Perez, 1-1 pitch, hits it over to short, where it'll be fielded and thrown to first. Runner stays at second. Back to the top of the lineup, Ke'Bryan Hayes hits one over to second. That'll be the second out of the inning, but the runner does advance on this one. And then that means Ben Gamble's up next, and he hits a sinker deep to the left center gap. This one's going to get down for extras, actually over the wall. A ground rule double, and the Pirates strike first before Brian Reynolds flies out to right. But the Pirates do get one in the third. They lead 1-0. We'll stay with the Pirates here. Bottom 4, Daniel Vogelbach up first to begin, and the former Brewer hits it down the left field line into the corner. He doesn't got a lot of speed. But that one's going to get all the way to the wall. That's another leadoff double, second one in a row for the Pirates. Anthony Alford up next. He's going to hit this one into right field. That one's going to get down. Vogelbach's going to hold at third. That's runners on the corners as Mills, now in some trouble, gets Cruz up next, gives him a hanging curveball, and he rips it up against the scoreboard in right. 1 run's going to come around and score. Alford will stay at third, but it's now 2-0 Pirates. Still nobody down. How about Michael Chavez up next? He chops it over to first. This will be the first out of the inning, but it will be another run for the Pirates, who now lead 3-0. Kevin Newman up next. How about this one? Bloops into right. Pittsburgh continues the chain. Another single, and it's 4-0 now for Pittsburgh. Roberto Perez up next. Pops it up to right. This will end the inning, but a 3 spot in the bottom of the 4th for the Pirates as they expand their lead. Actually, no, that's the second out of the inning. My apologies. That brings up Ke'Bryan Hayes up next, who hits this one up the middle. This inning is definitely still alive. Runners now on first and second, 2 outs. Ben Gamble up next, 1-1, slaps it up the middle, another base hit. Runner's going to round third, come on, and he is going to score a 5-0 lead for the Pirates. A 4 spot now in the bottom of the 4th. Brian Reynolds up next, will swing and finally end the inning, but not a good look again for Mills. Patrick Wisdom will lead off the top of the 5th, see if the Cubs have any sort of answer to this Pirates onslaught. So far, they have not. And Wisdom will pop up to right field, and that'll be a loud out number 1. How about Seiya Suzuki? First pitch swinging, hits this one down the third base line. It'll rattle to the left fielder. But that's the first hit of the ball game for the Cubs. They've had a slow offensive day. Ian Happ up next is going to look at a changeup that gets called strike 3. 2 down now for the Cubs. And then Rafael Ortega will go down on the cutter. So the Cubs bats ice cold as Thompson is dealing. Bottom 5, Mills still on the mound. He walks Vogelbach to begin the 5th. And then Alford up next, 2-2. Hits this one over to third. It's fielded, thrown over to second, but can't get to as Alford is speedy enough to beat out the throw. So he's on first. O'Neal Cruz now at the plate. He's going to pop this one over the first baseman down into right field for another base hit. Once more, Mills in some trouble. Runners on the corners. Michael Chavez up next. He's going to hit this one into center. That's a deep fly. Alford with speed to burn is going to obviously easily score. And it's now a 6-0 Pirates lead. And that'll do it for Mills. He finally gets taken out of the game. David Robertson will come in out of the pen. Our best reliever by far to begin this season as our pitching has struggled. He's now got 2 down and finally gets Perez to strike out. So that'll end the 5th. But Pirates now up 6-0. Cubs need something. Here's 1 out in the top of the 7th. Wisdom gets a hold of one. He finally gets the Cubs their first run. A solo shot here in the 7th inning by Patrick Wisdom gets the Cubs on the board. 393-foot shot to left. Wisdom's 4th home run of the season. And it's now a 6-1 lead in favor of the Pirates. Go later into this one, Anthony Banda, the lefty, will come in out of the pen after a nice solid performance by Thompson. He hasn't had a good start to his season. He takes over now, 2 outs, 1 on first, and Rafael Ortega will strike out looking. So the Cubs get 1 in the 7th. Top 8, see if they can get back into this one. Contreras starts off swing and miss strikeouts. How about Jonathan VR? He gets a curveball, drills it into the gap. Nice patience to sit on this one, as that one is going to get all up against the wall, and VR has a 1-out double here in the 8th, trying to keep the Cubs in this one. Back to the top of the line. Big Magical up next, and he looks at a questionable strike 3. Banda gets the corner. Now 2 outs for Horner, who perfectly times a pitch and drills it to left, and it's off of the glove of Alford. A run will score, and the Cubs get their second. They're chipping into this lead, now down 6-2. Next batter up, Frank Schwindel. Full count, walks. That'll put him on first, and that'll bring up Wisdom to the batter's box, but Chris Stratton will come in out of the pen. He's pitched an inning in the 3rd this season of perfect baseball. He faces Wisdom, who has homered earlier, and he can't connect on a slider. Nasty pitch. Cubs chip in the lead, though, now down by 4 as we go bottom 8, where Michael Givens came in the game. He actually came in the 7th inning, but he'll carry over here in the 8th. Starts off with Perez, gets him the strikeout. High heater. Perez can't touch it. How about Ke'Bryan Hayes? Full 3-0 pitch, and Michael Givens walks him on 4. So that'll put him on first. Now full count to Gamble, and he walks him 2. So back-to-back walks now for Givens, who's losing his control. And they'll take him off. Jesse Chavez will come in out of the pen with an 8.31 ERA. Not a good start to his campaign either. Full count pitch to Reynolds to start his day, and he walks him. So the Cubs walk the bases loaded. How about self-inflicted damage much for Daniel Vogelbach? 2-2 to the powerful first baseman. He hits this one into left field. Will this be deep enough? They're going to try it. And this one will be offline. Pirates get another 7-2. Next up, Anthony Alford. 2-2 pitch. Rips one into left. Going back and over the glove out there of Happ. And Happ can't find the ball. Runners are on their horses. And that's a 2 RBI triple. The Pirates now up 9-2 before Cruz chops it over to third. That'll end the inning, but the Pirates all well out in front in this one. We go top 9 now. Ortega does get a solo shot as he destroys a fastball from Stratton into right for a solo home run. So that'll make the lead and the score look a little better and also help Ortega with his 2nd of the season. But all in all, it's not enough, and the Cubs will go down 9-3 in Game 1 of this quick 2-game set here in Pittsburgh. The pitching, like has been the start of the season, did not look good, whether it be the rotation or specifically the bullpen. but specifically, Mills in this one did not look good. He gets his first loss. Thompson gets a win, and Stratton gets save number 1 thanks to his couple of innings of work, despite not being a save scenario. Thompson also got player of the game. Before we get into game 2, a trade went down as the Angels traded Patrick Sandoval to the Tigers, and for Castro, the second baseman. This is a very interesting trade. Both are pretty young pitchers who can still mean something to their new clubs, as Sandoval gets in Detroit and Willie Castro gets into LA, as I think both will benefit from a change of scenery, so we'll see how that goes. I think it's a win-win for both clubs. Game 2, we also dropped 8-5 despite scoring all 5 of our runs in the final 2 innings. It was not enough, as not a good start at all for Stroman. 5 earned in 2 2/3 innings. That takes us to the second half of this episode, a 4-game road trip to Colorado and Coors Field for a 4-game set. 2 teams that are struggling on the beginning of the season, the 3-8 Cubs and the 2-9 Colorado Rockies, who are led by that man, a familiar face in Chicago, who we'll touch on in a moment. Austin Gomber on the mound first for Colorado. He's made 2 starts this season. It's been up and down, 4.22 ERA. Nico Hoerner will lead off today for the Chicago Cubs, who are rocking a slightly different lineup. 1-1 pitch to Hoerner, and he's going to pop up a fastball to the right side of shallow right field. That is caught, and we'll take a look at this Cubs lineup that's slightly different. Like I mentioned, Hoerner is first. Then we will see Madrigal, who is the DH today. Then we'll see Schwindel, Wisdom, and then Yan Gomes is getting the start at catcher. Seiya Suzuki, Simmons at short, Jason Hayward in center, and Clint Frazier in left. Both Hayward and Frazier making their first appearances on the season. Here's Madrigal up next. 2-1 pitch, gets a nice fastball, who hits it just right over, though, to second for an easy out number 2. And then Frank Schwindel up next. 1-0 pitch, fastball drilled straight to center. That is caught for a 1-2-3 inning. On the mound for the Cubs will be Kyle Hendricks, making his 3rd start of the season. He's been probably our best pitcher in the young campaign, a 2.08 ERA, even though a 0-1 record. Jose Iglesias leads off for the Rockies, their shortstop. 0-2 pitch to Iglesias, and he chops this one over to first, and it's going to be caught in the air and for out number 1. And here is the Rockies lineup. Next up, we'll see longtime Rocky Charlie Blackmon. Then we'll see the 2016 and former Cub, 2016 NL MVP Chris Bryant, then CJ Cron, Randall Grichuk, Brendan Rodgers, Elias Diaz, Connor Joe, and Colton Welker. Here is the next man up, Charlie Blackmon. 2-1 pitch, and he's going to single into center field. He's been doing that a long time for Colorado, and that will bring up Chris Bryant. First pitch to Bryant. He's going to swing, but Blackman's going to go and try to steal second, but get gunned down by Yan Gomes. Nice throw. That gets 2 outs. And now a full count to Bryant, and he looks at strike 3. The fastball hits the zone. Bryant doesn't like it, but it's out number 3. Stay with the Rockies now, bottom 2. Here's CJ Cron, who grounds to third, but there's some trouble with it at first. A poor throw from Wisdom, as they're going to get him with an E5, and Cron will stay on first. And that'll bring up Randall Grichuk, the former Blue Jay, who signed a 2-year, $20.8 million contract in the shortened off season. He draws a full count walk, so now the first 2 runners on for Colorado. Brendan Rodgers now up next, the second baseman. He hits this one deep to left, and that's going to be up against the wall. A double that brings home 1. The second one is rounding third, and it will be another run, as that is a 2-0 lead for the Rockies thanks to the double from Brendan Rodgers. Still nobody out in the inning. Elias Diaz up next, chops this one over to third. Wisdom has a little bit of trouble with this one as well, but he recovers in time to get the first out. Next up, the DH, Connor Joe, pops it up into the first baseman. That'll be caught. That's 2 outs now. And that'll bring up Colton Welker. 0-2 pitch in the dirt. The runner will go to third as Rodgers is now just 90 feet away thanks to the wild pitch. And the full count to Welker, though, hits over to second. And Hoerner with a nice play gets him at first and preserves just a 2-run deficit. We go to top 3 now. We're Clint Frazier with his first at-bat of the season. And it's a long ball to center, absolutely crushed into the trees out there for a solo shot to give the Cubs their first run of the ball game. 460 feet. Frazier goes yard, and it's now just a 2-1 lead in favor of the Rockies. Later in the third inning, now 2 away for Nick Madrigal, who gets a nice fastball, and he's going to make the Rockies pay. Into the gap is going to go up against the wall, and that is going to be a 2-out double for the DH today. And for Madrigal, that is double number 5 on the season. Frank Schwindel up next. 1-2 is caught fishing down and in on a slider. So the Cubs do get one, but they still trail. We'll go bottom 4 now. Crone at the dish for the Rockies. A full count pitch is hit into right, but Suzuki will range over, and that'll be out number 1. Next up, Grichuk, who walked in his first at bat. He's also going to hit it to right, but this time Suzuki won't get to that one, as that one is against the shift. And Grichuk's going to get to second. He's actually going to try for 3, and he's going to get 3. A 1-out triple for Randall Grichuk. And just like that, another scoring opportunity for the Rockies, and another RBI for Brendan Rodgers as he hits the runner home, and it's now 3-1 in favor of Colorado. How about Elias Diaz up next? 1-2, gets him on the curveball. Nice pitch by Hendricks. Nice bounce back at bat. So now 2 down for Connor Joe, 2-1, and he will hit it into right field. So the inning not over yet. Runners now first and second for Colton Welker, who hits one on the ground to second. Horner will have this one, and that will end the fourth. The Rockies tack on another. They extend their lead back to 2, 3-1. Top 5 now, Andrelton Simmons, who lined out in the second, will lead off the inning for the Cubs. First pitch he swings, he's going to line out into the second baseman. So 0 for 2 on the day for Simmons. Next up will be Jason Hayward, who's first at-bats of the season, and he goes gapping in right center. Hayward showing he's still got a little bit left in the tank, or at least he's trying to. That's a 1-out double, so that'll help his case. That brings up Clint Frazier, who homered in his first at-bat, and he's going to do it again. A home run to deep left field. That one is well out of here. And just like that, Clint Frazier has tied the game. His second home run and as many at-bats in the season. This one goes 467. That's combined 927 feet on his 2 home runs. Frazier nuking balls here at Coors Field. Later at the at-bat, Nick Madrigal will get a 2-out single into left field, as this one is all tied up now at 3 apiece. That brings up Frank Schwindel up next, who gets a 1-2 fastball right down the middle. But just early on, it pops out to Diaz. But we're tied up at 3 apiece halfway through this one. Bottom 5 now, we'll see if the Rockies can counter as Jose Iglesias will walk to begin the bottom of the 5th. Charlie Blackmon up next. First pitch swinging up the middle. Another base hit for the Rockies. Puts runners now on first and second. Still nobody down. And it's Chris Bryant. First pitch rips one to left. It's caught, thankfully, right at the left fielder for 1 away. Next up, C.J. Crone, full count, looks at strike 3 call. That is obviously a strike, Crone. I don't know what you're trying to sell there. 2 outs now, but Ross will take Hendricks out of the game. Hendricks' pitch count was getting up there. So Michael Givens, who has not had a good start to the season, tasked with getting the final out of the inning. And he can't do it against Grichuk, as that's another walk against the Cubs. So now full count, bases loaded for Rodgers, and he swings and misses a clutch pitch from Givens, strikes him out. Still a tie ball game. Top 6 now, Yan Gomes leads off. We're 1 away for Chicago. Is now Gomber having some issues, and he will be pulled as well. So Gomber goes 5 1/3, both starting pitchers in line for the no decision. And it'll be Julius Chachin who comes in out of the bullpen for the Rockies, in tasked with preserving the tie. First batter he faces Seiya Suzuki, who drills one deep to center in the very first pitch, and it's off the glove of Grichuk out there in center. Runner did have to hold, so he did not get the best jump, so that'll keep him at third. But now second and third, 1 away. It's Andrelton Simmons, 3-1 pitch. He walks, and now bases loaded, 1 out for Jason Hayward. A nice opportunity here to take the lead. First pitch to Hayward. It's a fastball right down the middle, and he pops it up into shallow center. Hayward slams the bat. Not going to tag on this one. And now they need a base hit, and it's Clint Frazier. First pitch to Frazier. Slider slapped into right field. A base hit, and the Cubs have the lead. Frazier has been all over our offense today. Another clutch base hit for the left fielder. Cubs 4-3. Horner up next, 1-1. Another slapped hit into right field. Another base hit, and another run will score for the Cubs. That extends their lead, now 5-3 Chicago. Still bases loaded. Nick Madrigal hits a curveball, but this one is caught where the Cubs do get 2 in the 6th. They make it a 5-3 lead. David Robertson will come in out of the pen for Chicago, 2.35 ERA. He gets tasked with the 6th inning. He inherits a runner on first base as Givens gave up that walk. But now runners on first and second for Charlie Blackmon, and he walks as well. So another bases loaded opportunity for the Rockies, and it's Chris Bryant. 1-1 pitch, chopper right over to second. That's going to be fielded and thrown out. Cubs leave them loaded. Next inning, Jesse Chavez comes in out of the pen for the Cubs. Cubs going through their whole bullpen in this game. 2 outs to Brandon Rogers, and he bloops one over the glove of the jumping first baseman Schwindel. That's another 2-out single for Colorado. Keeping the inning alive will be Elias Diaz, and he does that. Slaps it into right field. Back-to-back singles as Jesse Chavez comes out of the pen. And that's going to bring up Connor Joe. 2 for 3 on the day. Chops it over to third, though, but Wisdom has this one cleanly fielded, cleanly thrown. That ends the 7th. How about bottom 8? Rowan Wick comes in to now set up for the Chicago Cubs. He blew his only save opportunity of the season, so he's tasked now with the 8th inning. Colton Welker will lead off for Colorado. 2-2 pitch to Welker. He hits a slider into center. Hayward is underneath this one, and that'll be 1 down. Takes him to the top of the lineup. Jose Iglesias up next. Full count walk. Another walk. Cubs have walked a lot of Rockies batters today, and they do another one. Charlie Blackmon walks on that pitch. Runners now first and second. Chris Bryant will step to the plate, but Garrett Hampson will step to first base as he pinch runs for Blackmon. Bryant goes down swinging. That's an 0 for 5 day for the former Cub. Just not good against this former squad. And then CJ Cron will ground over to second, which will be flipped. And that's still 5-3 going into the 9th, where Cody Heyer will get tasked with getting the save now. He did convert his one earlier save opportunity as he's now looking to be the new closer. And he starts off with a walk to Randall Grichuk. Another walk given up by Chicago. That puts the tying run at the plate. It's Rogers had a nice day, but he hits into a 4-6-3 double play. And just like that, Colorado down to their final outs. And it's going to be the catcher, Elias Diaz, who is 1 for 4 on the day. Singled back in the 7th. Tasked with keeping the game alive. 1-1 pitch to Diaz. Chopper up the middle. It's going to get through. That keeps the game and the hopes of the Rockies alive. And once more, the tying run at the plate. Connor Joe now. First pitch. Chopper over to third. Wisdom has it. Throws to first. And that is your ball game. The Chicago Cubs win this one, as well as a professional framer medal, as they win. And I get my first win of MLB The Show 22. I don't talk out of context very much, but it was very good, or felt very good, to finally get my first played win of the season. And it was a hard-fought one. Went down 3-1 early, and the Cubs came back with 2 spots in both the 5th and the 6th and won this one. Clint Frazier obviously gets player of the game. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Michael Givens gets the win as well in relief. Game 2, we continue with another win, this time 3-2 against Colorado. So that's back-to-back wins to begin the 4-game homestand, as Miley pitched good in 6 2/3 inning. We did drop Game 3, though, with a whopping 1-0 score. Mills pitched 6 strong in this one, but just couldn't get any run support and got the loss. And then in Game 4, we dropped 5-4 thanks to a 5-spot given up in the 7th. Happ went yard twice, but it wasn't enough, as our bullpen struggled in this one. And that has been our Achilles heel so far. So we split that set against the Rockies. Next episode, we'll have back to Wrigley Field for a 3-game homestand against the Rays and a 4-game one against the Pirates, looking for a little bit of revenge against our division rivals. But that'll end this one. Cubs are back in action. Expect more Cubs baseball on the channel. I did see your comments in the survey, and you guys want to see more Cubs, so I will give you guys more Cubs. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you drop that like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.